Sorry for long delay in between me videos. I've had quite a lot of stuff go off and things, and plans have changed slightly. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sidelining my transit project for a bit because I've sold my Range Rover, got absolutely bored shitless with it, and I will not be having one of them again. You know they're absolutely shit. So one of the things that I originally did to me my little Hijet, I chopped the exhaust off, original exhaust, because it was a tiny little 1.5" diameter thing, killing performance, and I stuck on an Isuzu Trooper back box, which increased noise levels considerably because it's straight through, and yeah, it fitted quite nice. I had to angle cat and stuff so that it'd go on neatly, but all in all it was pretty easy to fit. However, it's noisy as a noisy thing with a lot of noisiness. So that's my entire system. As you can see, it's not right long, and that little box on back is straight through. Now if I'm looking at going and doing a track day, this ain't gonna pass a track day at all. So as you can tell, it's a little bit noisy, so I've decided I'm going to make a nice larger bore system out of a Transit DI, oval shaped rear silencer. It should provide enough flow and be quiet enough for track day and road use. So because exhaust system's so short, there's only 2 bolts hold it on. And then I've got to unclip both lambda sensors and just unhook it out of one rubber. So it's a pretty simple task taking this small system off of it. You can rev the thing up, haven't as well, so it's red hot now. It might be wise not to start car up just before you're going to take exhaust off as well. It gets red hot. One lambda sensor plug. Both of them out. Put them safe. This is the whole exhaust system. I could put a baffle down the middle of it. I've thought about that in past, but I want something that looks a little bit more substantial. Bloody typical British weather. Just start doing something, and chuffing rain comes and spoils play. So now I've got rain sorted. Right, so I've got these bits of pipe. Now I'm going to be chopping and changing as I've done in other videos. It might be a little bit more simple to do than Range Rover one. So I'm not particularly fond of jigging it up this, because really I'm just going to be chopping a bit off, and it's all going to be straight lines until it comes to the back bit with this bend. And this silencer, considerably more robust than one that's on. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be a bit boring, I'm going to quieten it down, but I guess that's me showing my age. Right, so I'm starting to fabricate me exhaust up. I've chopped this Isuzu Trooper back box off a end at cat. You can see me through it. Next step, I did say I weren't going to jig it up. However, I think I am going to jig it up, and I'm going to fasten this on end at bench like that. This flange on end of here, this flange on end of here is pretty much horizontal with bottom at van. So I'm just gonna tack it onto the bench, and then I'm gonna look at whereabouts that box, that oval box, is going to sit in relation to everything underneath, and whether or not I want the outlet to come out bias one side or other, because it's offset. I'll have a bit of a think about how it's going to go, and I'll have a bit of a ponder underneath van, lay underneath van like I'm dead, and chuffing everybody in the street wondering whether or not I've dropped something on me head or something. But funny story, I once electrocuted my son under the van, and it's a bit of an health and safety tip is this. When you're welding, if you then extend your earth lead, don't leave the bit where you've clipped it together onto a jump lead, don't leave that on top of wire that's feeding your welder with power, because what happens is it gets very hot, melts through power wire, and then makes your van live. So when you're feeling fizzy under your van, and you think, oh, I'm gonna get at it from underneath van because I've got pins and needles, and you put your hand on exhaust pipe directly, and you get that fizzy feeling. Yeah, it's not right good. Right, so far I've got cap welded to the middle box. I've got the flange welded on to a straight piece of pipe at front. I've been under the van, and I've angled it and done it old school way and marked it and come back to my bench and welded it all together. So the next bit that you're going to see is it fastened on van, and then looking at where we're going to be making brackets. I'm going to have to drag welder back outside, but weather's been a bit iffy, typically British, so yeah, I'm going to be working against that really. So I think that's been a success. It's not banging on out, it looks pretty factory underneath as well, so when you see it, I think you'll be as impressed as I am. I'm not bigging my set up, but it looks alright, to be fair. So as you can tell, it's a lot quieter, and it sounds alright as well. It's got a bit of a note to it, but that's because there's no resonator box in the middle. But all in all, it doesn't sound much worse than standard inside van, which I'm glad about, because other one made me ears bleed. Right, let's have a quick look underneath then and see what we can see when we spot underneath. So you can see the S-bend off the back of Transit, that's been fitted, but it's only been fitted to that straight piece of pipe off the back of box. And what I've done with that is I've utilised the offset inlet and outlet on the box so that it does the up and over part on the axle, and it's worked out really well. I'm pleased as punch with it. So let's have a look under the side of van. Right. So yeah, you've got a good shot at box, and I've twisted it upwards. I ain't got all the hangers used at the minute. It's not doing too bad, but I will be in future just banging a rod across to them two hangers up there and putting another couple of rubbers on. And this part here, I had to fit another piece of pipe that was straight, and I've welded flange on, but all in all, it's worked out really well. And for 45 quid, I mean, how much is a real exhaust for one of these? It must be getting on for 100 quid now, isn't it? So, you know, it's not a bad alternative, really, is it? So, I hope you've liked what I've done. If you don't like what I've done, give us a few suggestions, because, you know, I'm all out for criticism if it's constructive.